It's like, at least with Fluttermane, it's like defenses are paper thin. But
Yeah.
with Sylveon, that's not the case.
Yeah, Sylveon's going to be able to do really good damage to just about everyone.
Definitely.
Even if it resists it. He was telling me the Specs Terra Fairy Hyper Beam did like half to Terra Poison Tinglu.
Half?
It was like half or a little over half.
To Terra Poison Tinglu.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Just
don't
to,
want
just
to think
to
about
give you an
that.
idea of how strong it is.
I don't think I would want that to happen to my opponent ever.
Yeah, that is insane. So we do see the Iron Hands and Gothitelle coming out for Brandon, and we see the King Gambit and Amoonguss coming out for Jay.
I think Jay's main idea here is to stop that Trick Room from getting up, but
Yep.
he is also threatened. I think, does he have Drain Punch on Iron Hands?
I know both of these Pokemon do have Fake Out, so he has the double
Yeah.
Fake Out pressure, which is really concerning.
Wow, that's a set on Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Did not realize that Fire Punch came out from Brendan's Iron Hands.
Yeah, the Fire Punch is definitely an interesting pick.
Oh, and Immediate Terra coming out from, I think that's Jake's side? Or sorry, Brendan's side? No, it is Jay.
We do see the Terra Dark and Gambit maybe trying to go for the Kowtow Cleave onto the Gothitelle.
Avoiding that ×4 weakness into that fighting type.
Yep. Does go for the Fake Out into the Amoonguss, so the Amoonguss won't be able to get to move.
Kowtow Cleave does connect. And it's onto Gothitelle.
Interesting. So the Gothitelle...
And Gothitelle's gone.
Yep. It's out of here. We'll see what the Iron Hands does. It will Drain Punch into the King Gambit, which still does a really
so
good
much
amount
damage.
of damage. Yeah.
Amoonguss does flinch because of that Fake Out.
Yeah, going into Terra Dark, that definitely saved the King Gambit. That was going to kill it
Definitely.
otherwise. And we do see the Ting Lu come out, which honestly in this case, I don't think the ability does much for him here.
Definitely.
It lowers the special attack of all the Pokemon, but Iron Hands, King Gambit, they're both physical.
Yeah.
They're not really, but like at this point, do you really need the ability? I think Ting Lu in and of itself is a really good bring here.
Yeah. So we do see King Gambit protect, but Fire Punch does go into this Amoonguss, doing a large chunk of damage.
It will be able to eat its Citrus Berry, bring it up a little bit. I don't know if it might be in the range to live another.
Throat Chop does come
okay.
out, and it does live on a lot. It's not a lot of HP, but it lives.
It does put the Iron Hands to sleep, which puts Jay in a very good position here. It can't get Drain Punched by the Iron Hands anymore. Although, you have the Kowtow Cleave and the Sucker Punch, but that's not going to do a lot of damage to either of these Pokemon. It is resisted on both of them.
Yep.
He does have the Terra Dark Black Glasses, so it'll still do a good chunk.
Setting up a Swords Dance here is very risky, I think, for Jay. Because if that Stomping Tantrum does come out, I think it might have a chance to knock out that King Gambit on Jay's side.
I think so, for sure.
And we don't know if this Amoonguss is faster than Tinglu or not.
So we saw, I believe it was Kowtow Cleave onto the Iron Hands. So maybe just trying to get some damage onto it while it's sleeping.
Yep.
And then he's going to try to heal up his own King Gambit with Pollen Puff.
That's decent damage for resisted Kowtow.
Pretty good, yeah. With how bulky Iron Hands is,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good damage.
So we do see Throat Chop into King Gambit, and it lives.
Not enough. And he does get the Pollen
Amoonguss
Puff
not
off.
being targeted by that Tinglu.
That was, I'd say that was a really good turn for Jay.
Yep. Very risky.
Neither of his Pokemon got knocked out, and he was able to heal the King Gambit.
Yep.
That, easily, if the Throat Chop went to the Amoonguss, that could have been very bad. The King Gambit would have been very, very low.
Yep.
I think that was a very good turn for him. See how he deals with this.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly. Which, honestly, against this team that Brandon has, I think that's what you need.
Definitely. Even something as strong as Fluttermane, it really wouldn't do good with a spread Dazzling Gleam against this Iron Hands and Tinglu because it just there's so many factors affecting it. So we do see Jay taking his time on this move.
He is going to try to heal his King Gambit up again. He will get the Kowtow Cleave off onto the Tinglu this time.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, still respectable damage given the resistance.
Yeah.
Like how bulky Tinglu is.
It's what,
like,
base 120,
yeah,
110?
It's crazy base
Throat
defense.
Chop does go into Amoonguss this time, knocking it out.
So it won't be able to heal the King Gambit. Which does put Jay in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah.
The King Gambit obviously not doing much here. So he's going to be sending his Fluttermane
Do see
out,
Fluttermane come out, actually.
which it's night and day. King Gambit doesn't really threaten much damage. On the other hand, Fluttermane has the Moonblast and the Dazzling Gleam. Can threaten some really good damage onto both Iron Hands and Tinglu.
Definitely. With that special attack drop, though, for Tinglu's passive, that's going to be hard to set up.
Exactly, yeah. That does hurt the Fluttermane quite a bit.
And with Fluttermane's paper-thin defenses and both of these really huge physical attackers on the field, I think Iron Hands might wake up soon and then actually target down that Fluttermane.
Do see a Terra coming out from Brandon. It is the
Tinglu. Terra Poison.
Terra Poison, okay. So we'll see if Jay went for a Dazzling Gleam or maybe Moonblast into Tinglu, unfortunately. We'll have to see.
Moonblast into Iron Hands, the sleeping Iron Hands.
That was a good call.
Still going to live, though, on the Moonblast.
Oh, hey, what's up?
I'm just popping it again. What's up?
Nothing much.
He does get the Swords Dance off on the King Gambit.
Iron Hands does take another turn of sleep.
Is that turn 2?
I think that's turn 3.
Oh, God.
It's
yeah.
two or three, yeah. It's really...
Throat Chop
oh my God.
does come out and puts Fluttermane down to its sash.
Did not think that just
I didn't
would
think,
OHKO.
Yeah, I didn't think that would OHKO
I mean, because
either.
it's not super effective like Heavy Slam is.
No.
It's just I mean, it's stab, but
Right.
Even still, being neutral and doing that much, that's crazy.
The good
I
thing
guess because, you know, no HP investment, no defense investment. Because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
sash, it's probably not taking that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Good thing for Jay is that there's no Sandstorm this time.
Yeah.
to
Oh,
deal with
thank
Fluttermane.
God, yeah.
No Sandstorm chip here.
So he actually gets to use that Focus Sash on the Fluttermane.
I think we did see Jay. Yeah, he did get a sword stance up.
Yeah, he did get a Sword Stance off, and that's honestly, the Tinglu lost its Dark Resistance with the Terra Poison.
And we did see King Gambit move before Tinglu multiple times in the set.
So the Kowtow Cleave could come out and do some really good damage onto the Tinglu.
Moonblast does kill Iron Hands.
So the Iron Hands is definitely...
It KOs Iron
KOs.
Hands. I know. I've thought about that for commentators
Yeah,
at
that's what I
VGC. It's
thought.
like you can't say kill because you know it's a
Yeah.
PG, it's a E-rated game or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you
That was
gotta
my
say
bad. That was my bad.
you gotta say KO. I mean, it's not sanctioned. I could kick
Yeah.
two shit.
I've
like-
said it a couple times. I've been trying to like catch myself, but who cares?
So we did see a
the
double
VODs are being
knockout.
saved though, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be
that's-
funny
that's a good
interaction to
point.
talk about it.
So he actually, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he did Kowtow Cleave the Tinglu and knock it out.
Yeah, he did knock it out.
Which
Yeah,
that's really good.
losing the dark resist
Okay.
by being a dark type itself, going to ground. I mean, not ground. Poison. I mean, obviously for Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast from Fluttermane, but it also leaves you wide open to SD King Gambit. It's
Yeah.
just really good.
And we did see Brandon forfeit that match. Jay will be taking game 1.
We did see Garganackle come out at the end for Brendan, though.
Yeah, but it was too late
Yeah.
because you're just gonna get Moonblasted there, and then you're already
Yeah.
at +2 King Gambit. So it's like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
It
You-
hurts.
Yeah, if you're Brandon, you need a way to break through that King Gambit early.
Definitely.
Yeah, that King Gambit has been putting in a lot of work for Jay for sure.
Even with the Iron Hands lead and the Tinglu coming out, it's like that Drain Punch, it did about 70-75% to that King Gambit, but that was only after a Terra Dark. So it's like if Brendan can have a way to actually deal with that King Gambit before it gets that set up, then it might be less of a threat.
We don't have our next event.
So we'll have to see if Brandon can, figure out a way to deal with that King Gambit, see how he adapts to that. It's going to be, I think, a very interesting game, too, for sure.
Definitely.
Before the end of June, and another organizer can come and give out.
I don't think we have our next event planned either.
It'd be great.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we do.
I
This
think,
one took like a long time to do because
Yeah.
we didn't actually have
At least specifically.
like enough people. Well, we had interest, but like
Right.
even still, this was hard enough to do.
I'd love to see if you guys could get like a regular scene going on here. I think that would be
I
pretty
hope
awesome.
so. I know obviously Balance Patch has Bay State Beatdown, which is an awesome event to watch like
Right.
every Thursday night. But yeah, it's like if we can bring back Premier Challenges every Sunday, that's perfectly fine. That's how it was before COVID.
Yeah.
And it's like if that can happen and they're all sanctioned, say less.
Yeah, probably not here though.
You don't think so?
Not locally. I mean,
Really?
not locally. I mean, not every Sunday.
Oh no, yeah, I figured that.
Yeah.
Because that would be way too hard.
At least,
like
like,
maybe
every
one
once
every
in a
It's
month.
just too costly. Yeah, one every month, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, if anyone is watching, then yeah, we're trying to figure out our next event. We need to find an organizer that wants to work with us to give out CP.
Yeah.
Eventually. Unless Pokemon is an asshole and doesn't want to give us CP. Like actually.
Please
we
give us
do
points,
see-
dude.
Please.
I just need to go to Worlds once.
Okay, Sylveon Gothitelle for Brandon. We got King Gambit again in the Amoonguss. I think looks like a similar lead from game 1
So
for
Yeah.
Jay,
one,
right?
Brandon did have a different lead. We now see the Sylveon coming out. It was the Gothitelle and Iron Hands last time. So the Sylveon coming out first is really interesting.
That Sylveon is going to be doing huge damage if it does
Yeah.
decide to target down that Amoonguss with
Okay.
Psyshock.
I cannot see. Is it AV? It's not AV King Gambit. What's the item?
Dark Glasses.
Yeah.
It's
Ah,
Turret
so
Dark,
just
Dark
boosted
Glasses.
damage. Okay.
Yeah.
That Sylveon is really interesting coming out, just immediately putting on the offensive pressure.
We do see Terra coming out from Brendan's side. Onto that Sylveon, so it's Terra Fairy.
So I wonder if he's going to go for a
Uh-oh.
Hyper Beam here.
Damage go burr.
Yeah.
Damage go burr. I mean, there's no way you can stop the Sylveon from doing any damage. Like, it's just going to
Exactly.
get it off.
It
King
hurts
Gambit's
so
going to go for the
bad.
protect, just trying to live whatever. I imagine this might be Hyper Beam. Oh, it's Hyper Voice.
Okay. Let's see how much this does do
So-
Amoonguss. I'd imagine not that much.
So, interesting to note is that Sylveon's actually faster than the Gothitelle, so we could still see a Psyshock going into the Amoonguss, or it could be Trick Room. So, oh, wait. Oh, so it is
Oh,
Trick
it's
Room.
Trick Room.
It's Trick
Okay.
Room, yeah.
He does get the Spore off into the Sylveon.
very
you know,
good for his King Gambit, which
yeah.
only resists that.
Exactly. Does get the Trick Room off, but honestly, if
I don't
you're
know if
Jay-
that's good.
Yeah,
I think that's
for
good
Jay,
more
that's
for
pretty good.
Jay, because he can just Spore.
Well, it's like you can, what's the Gothitelle item?
I don't know, actually.
Gothitelle is Safety Goggles.
Okay, so it can't
Oh,
get
okay.
spored, and it cannot redirect. It's not affected by Rage Powder.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
but the thing is, you set up Trick Room with a Amoonguss on the opposing side, which is bad, and then you also have a King Gambit, which has Dark Glasses and can do a lot of damage, which is also
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
The
Especially with a double
Gothitelle-
target.
Yeah, if you don't play this right, especially now that the Sylveon's guaranteed turn 1 sleep, it's like you kind of just set up yourself for a bad situation. But it's not like King Gambit or Moongus can really offensively pressure the Sylveon either.
Right.
Yeah.
Putting it to sleep was a really good idea, I think.
Gothitelle does protect you, though. Getting threatened by that King Gambit.
It does only have Psyshock for the attacking move, so it would only be able to attack the Amoonguss. Obviously, the King Gambit being the Dark type, it wouldn't be affected by the Psyshock.
Oh, interesting. The Sylveon's actually underspeeding the King Gambit, which might be intentional. Ooh, SD
Ooh,
is very
Swords
good
Dance
there.
comes out.
Baits out the Protect on the Gothitelle, and now that Gothitelle is a sitting duck. Mind you, King Gambit and Amoonguss can't switch out. So they have to play in whatever they're being played as right now on the field. But again, it's a really good situation. Why you wouldn't even want to switch out if you're Jay here.
Yeah, being in Trick Room with the Amoonguss, it's a really good position for Jay. When the Sylveon wakes up, if it doesn't kill the Amoonguss, or KO the Amoonguss, I'm sorry, you can just forward the Sylveon back.
Yeah.
Brendan,
Brendan really has to watch out for this double target, though. Especially
Yeah.
with these slower Pokemon targeting Gothitelle with both super effective damage. And now King Gambit is +2, so it is threatening the knockout on Gothitelle.
Yeah, the Moongus here is really awkward because you pretty much have to Rage Powder, but it's not really going to do much because, again, the Gothitelle safety goggles, so it bypasses that. And it's Choice Specs Sylveon.
It wakes up.
Immediately. Hyper Voice coming through. This is going to be
Choice
big damage.
Specs, Hyper Voice, Terra Fairy. Huge
Ooh.
damage on the
Gambit
King
does
Gambit.
live.
That's 75% immediately into King Gambit. Gothitelle, what did Gothitelle do yet? Has it done
It
anything?
doesn't
Hasn't
move.
moved.
Hasn't moved.
I would
Oh.
imagine Psyshock into Amoonguss.
Yeah. Kowtow Cleave into Sylveon. That is
That's
barely going to get the KO
great.
even at the +2. Psyshock
Alright.
is going to get the KO into this Amoonguss here. Oh, no, it's
it
not.
doesn't.
Okay.
Wow.
Amoonguss lives.
Wow,
I
okay.
believe the Sylveon is in Sucker Punch
Okay,
range
if it was,
now.
I think if it was Psychic, it would have gone the KO because
Yeah.
normally, most Amoongusses are more physically defensive, and Psyshock goes into the physical defense side of a Pokemon. But it's also 10 base power less than Psychic.
True.
So it's like super awkward if you don't get the KO. Like Psyshock is really good, but it's also kind of awkward to use
It's just
sometimes.
very situational.
Exactly, yeah. King Gambit still living is really important.
Yeah, now we can Sucker Punch that Sylveon. It is Choice Spec, so he
Yeah, actually
switch
withdraws.
Yeah, I think you have to do that. That
Yeah.
Sylveon's way too important.
out. Right.
The Garganacl,
Garganacl
the
does
Garganacl switch is also pretty good, but it's also not that great because then you get Kowtow Cleave.
I think you might have suckered. I didn't see it.
No, you probably sucker into the Garganacl, so I'm saying on the next
Yeah.
turn,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next turn, it gets really awkward because you have to sucker there because you already knew that the Sylveon was faster. It's always going to go for a Hyper Voice because it's already choice spec'd in. So
Yeah.
switching out was literally the optimal play. But it's just now that Brandon has to deal with the Garganacl potentially taking a huge amount of damage from the Kowtow Cleave.
Yeah, saving,
good to
saving
note,
the
too.
Sylveon for later.
Definitely.
Really, really good.
Good to note, too, that this Gothitelle literally cannot touch this King Gambit
Yep.
either.
Yeah, so it's probably really good for King Gambit to just keep the Gothitelle on the field. But you need to kill this Garganacl.
Yeah.
Like, it's on the
This thing's
field.
scary. Especially with that Salt Cure going into a Steel Mon, that will chip and eventually knock it out.
Yep.
Iron Hands coming in, though.
Oh.
Wow, got the tail switching out. So
It's
all of
actually-
Jay's Pokemon now can switch in the next turn.
Yeah, so he Sucker Punched the Gothitelle, which, you know,
I don't
Polymorph
agree
does
with
come
that.
out.
he does get to heal up a
That's a
little bit.
really good Pollen Puff. You basically just bring it back to 75% HP. That's really good.
Salt Cure does go into Amoonguss, though. Is this chip enough to hurt?
Yeah,
oh, it
that's
is.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was at
Yeah.
34, and it's going to lose the remaining parts of its health.
Yep. So no Regenerator, nothing else from Amoonguss here.
So I think there's only one more turn of Trick Room after this, if I'm correct. We'll have
I-
to see at the end of the turn.
Ends now.
No, ends now. Okay,
Yep.
I knew it was either there was one more or it was ending now. So this is a really good position because now Garchomp gets on the field immediately. It could. I don't know what the set is. I think it's choice mon.
For Garchomp, it's the Life Orb with
Oh, it's a
Earthquake.
Life Orb set. Oh, interesting.
Huge damage.
Yeah, so both Mons on Brandon's side are very, very vulnerable. There's no Terra, so you
Yeah,
can't
there's
do
no
like Terra
Terra.
Flying, Garganacl, I think. Iron Hands can't Terra, so it has to stay in the electric typing. It's going to be a little unfortunate. You do have Rock Slide, but probably not the best move to use here.
I think the Protect Earthquake play is really good here, even if the Garganacl does protect.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
Iron Hands.
yeah, I
You know,
agree.
you can't protect the Iron Hands. That's still going to take really
Yeah,
good
and
damage.
it's not like anything can switch in because you can't bring the Sylveon because it's bad. And then
Right.
if you bring in the Gothitelle, like, yeah, I guess you get Fake Out Pressure, but it's also not that good. But the Protect King Gambit is just a really good play. EQ coming out. Probably not. Oh, the
Guard
Wide
does
Guard!
come
I
out.
forgot about the Ride.
I
I didn't
forgot,
even think about it. Yeah, the Wide Guard coming through. That's actually going to negate the Rock Slide,
Oh, it's
actually. No,
Rock Slide.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Earthquake would have been safer, but I mean either way with the Wide Guard.
I mean, Earthquake is just better damage.
yeah.
I don't
Drain
see.
Punch does miss into that Protect.
So now Jay has to watch out for that Wide Guard. That really, really limits the Garchomp for sure.
Yeah, because you pretty much the only safe move to use is Dragon Claw and Protect, obviously, but Dragon
Yep.
Claw for offensive pressure. You kind of need to get the EQ because it's doing the most amount of damage. But then obviously, if you're spamming EQ, you're trying to force the Garganacl to only wide guarding for the remainder of its longevity of it being on the field. So you're never going to get any Salt Cures off. You're never going to get any recovers. So
Right.
it's that trade off. Which one's going to come first?
Although Brandon will not be able to use Wide Guard again this turn. I believe it has the same rules of Protect where it's
I
1
don't
and
know
3.
if it does.
I think,
you
it
can
does.
spam Wide Guard.
I think you can spam Wide
Oh,
Guard.
is it Protect into Wide Guard? You have the chance or something like that?
No,
It's
I
like a
think
weird
wide.
attack.
I don't think Wide Guard has the property with Detect and Protect and Endure, where every successive usage.
So you can just keep using.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you can just
exactly.
keep
You can
using
just
it
keep
Okay.
using it.
Okay.
because like Protect every turn that you use it successfully, you raise the number to the power of 3, so it's like 100%, 33%, 11% or something.
So we do see the Cowtail Cleave coming out to the
Ho,
Garganacl.
ho, ho.
Almost
Damage to
killing
that
it.
Garganacl.
That's
Wild
probably
Charge does come out into King Gambit.
no.
Pretty
Interesting
good
on the Wild
damage.
Charge, not going for Drain Punch because
Interesting.
yeah, you want Drain Punch because it's going to do more damage effectively, and you also get heals. But
I can see if Brendan was predicting the switch into maybe like Flutter Mane.
yeah, I
Oh,
could see that.
other
Yeah,
than
no.
that,
That's actually a really safe play then. Yeah. Yeah, because if you don't get the Drain Punched out there, you just get the Flutter Mane in for free, and it's like nothing, and then you don't break the stash. So
Yeah,
I
because
agree.
it's like, especially if you commit to like Wide Guard or something like that, where you don't,
yeah.
you don't want to get knocked out to that EQ. We do see Jay taking his time.
I think he's in a very tricky position right now.
It's super awkward.
Yeah, because you want to EQ, but I mean, you could protect King Gambit again, but you also have to deal with the fact that Iron Hands is still going to get the most amount of damage on
He is going to
Brandon's
go for
side.
the Earthquake, so we'll see if the Wide Guard comes out from the Garganacl.
Let's see.
And
Oh,
Oh,
free
no
free
Wide
EQ,
Guard.
free EQ coming
that's
through.
really good for Jay.
This should knock out both Pokemon.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Yep.
So that's a double KO. So the only Mons left of Brandon in finals is low HP Sylveon and a full HP Gothitelle. But
And that
now there's
Sylveon
no
has to
switching.
attack.
There's
Yeah.
no switching.
If he
Oh,
can
you know,
get-
yeah, I think it's over actually.
Yeah, because he can just get rid of the Sylveon. Gothitelle can't touch King Gambit. So.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Gothitelle could fake out either Mon, but the problem is the other Mon that doesn't get fake out can basically just get a free hit into
Right.
the Sylveon.
Yeah.
Because Sucker Punch pretty much can guarantee KO into the Sylveon no matter what. But even if you Sucker Punch the Kingambit, you have Garchomp moving, before Sylveon anyway, going for like a Rock Slide. Obviously, there's a chance to miss.
Yeah.
But
That's
I mean,
the
you
only thing
could
that
just
could turn
self
it around.
EQ. You might as well just bring in the the Fluttermane in the back. At that point. Yeah, posing fake out.
Does fake out.
Kingambit flinches. Yep, Garchomp moves next. Dragon Claw actually going for the Tail. That's not going to pick up the KO. It does 50%,
does a
losing
lot
some
of
damage.
damage.
I don't like that. I don't like that at
Hyper
all.
Voice does come out,
That's
though.
that's
Might
This is going to
actually
knock out both
of them,
Pokemon.
Yeah. So we're gonna see the Fluttermane in the back, and we're seeing.
So-
if I can pick it up, then
That Focus Sash is still intact.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
It is one. It is at one. You're right.
No, it's not.
Is
The
it?
Fluttermane?
It's
No.
full. It didn't come out yet.
It didn't come out. You're thinking about the last
I'm
game.
thinking about the
Yeah,
last game.
it
Yeah.
didn't come out yet.
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
no, no. So
the
the
Focus
pro-
Sash
okay,
is still
that's-
intact.
Yeah, the problem here is that Trick Room is not up. It's
Right.
Choice Spec Sylveon, so it has to use Hyper Voice for the remainder of the game. Fluttermane
Yeah,
could
you could
basically
just
just.
Dazzling.
Oh yeah, you could just Dazzling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gothitelle could try to set up Trick Room, but it's not going to be. It's not. I don't think it's going to get a KO, even from a Psyshock crit,
No, I don't think so either.
and it wouldn't be able to do it anyway because of this Focus Sash. So yeah,
Dazzling
that's.
Gleam does come out here. Does knock out Gothitelle. Okay.
We'll see how much Psyshock can do to the Fluttermane here, but
Unless it's
probably-
Trick Room. Unless it's Trick
yeah,
Room.
yeah.
Yeah, both players took
is
off the
Trick Room.
headsets.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Brandon concedes this battle, so we're just gonna wait it out until we can officially confirm.
I like how Jay was able to.
Use Protect.
Yep.
Battle canceled.
I like how Jay was able to position around Brandon's team for sure.
Definitely.
Yep.
Jay does win.
The first balance patch VGC local. Woo! Yeah!
Yeah! Woo!